Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABC World with me, Shfaraulaka, and thank you for watching us. Now, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed today presided over a meeting with other senior federal government officials to review the progress of 3 pivotal projects in Gondar City, Amhara State. On May 12, the Prime Minister, along with federal officials and regional chief administrators, officially opened the newly constructed bridge at the Abai River in Bahar Dar City. Throughout his weekend visit to the region, PM Abiy inspected the advancement of significant projects in the area. Following the review of the progress on the Magaj Dam, improvement of Gondar City's water supply, and the Azazo to Gondar 11 kilometers road, the Prime Minister disclosed via social media posts that he had instructed adjustments in project management to expedite their completion in the forthcoming months. Moving on, the Office of the Prime Minister disclosed that 154,500,000 birr has been collected through the digital telethon held Sunday for Clean Ethiopia initiative. The digital telethon, with a target to obtain 50 million birr in 10 hours, started at 8 a.m. and concluded at 6 p.m. Several institutions and individuals have participated in the telethon, registering more than the planned target. Prime Minister's Office Press Secretariat Billani Seyum stated that some 154,500,000 birr was collected in the stated period in the digital telethon. She said that 67.5 million birr was collected directly from the community through the telethon. Billane mentioned that the Ethiopian Commercial Bank has donated 23 million birr in accordance with its promise to add 1 birr to the 3 birr each citizen contribution. Welcome back. Now, the Aviation Stakeholders Convention, organized by AFRA and development partners, kicked off here in Addis Ababa. The event is hosted by the Ethiopian Airlines Group, themed Beyond Connecting Africa and Aviation. The convention is said to be the industry's ideal platform to drive growth opportunities and deliberate on the development of African aviation industry and shape its future. Haptam Ashagri has more on that.
The Aviation Stakeholders Convention, which is organized by AFRA and development partners, kicks off. The event is hosted by the Ethiopian Alliance Group under the team Beyond Connecting African Aviation. The convention is said to be the industry's ideal platform to derive growth opportunities and deliberate on the developments of African aviation industry and shape its future. Speaking on the occasion, Ethiopian Airlines Group CEO Masfin also mentioned the challenges of the aviation sector, such as peace and security, airline shortage, hard currencies, access to MRO services. He also underlined the need to work on the air transport to strengthen cooperation under intra-Africa trade.
All stakeholders are required to work in cooperation to address the challenges that are holding the industry from growing and contributing to share towards the development of the continent.
Abdurrahman Bez, Secretary General of African Airlines Association, looked into the conventions aimed at intra-African connectivity, environmental sustainability, among others. He urges that airlines in Africa need to work to make the air transport affordable to all passengers.
Only 10% of African citizens can afford air transport, meaning there is considerable room for growth. In addition to the policies at the political level, airlines must enhance cooperation through interline, cost sharing, and partnership, and reduce their cost of operation to make air transport affordable for more Africans.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Alam Musime for his part underscored Ethiopia's effort in recognizing the aviation sector as a key driver of change to an economic development. The minister also emphasized the need to address challenges in a collaborative effort within African nations.
The Ethiopian government expresses its willingness to work with other African governments. The aim is to address the specific challenges faced by African islands, in particular by fostering cooperation and undertaking joint initiatives. The Ethiopian government seeks to facilitate policy changes, promote infrastructure development, enhance training capacities, and support human resource development in the African aviation sector.
The four-day convention will host the inaugural of African Aviation Safety and Operations Summit under the theme Championing African Aviation Safety Together.
And now in business, coffee exports have brought Ethiopia $835 million in revenue over the past 9 months. That's according to the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority. The authority also indicated that the country exported 174,596 tons of coffee to the international market over the first 9 months of the current Ethiopian fiscal year. Jerusalem has more on that.
Ethiopia is the world's fifth largest producer of coffee and Africa's top producer with 496,200 tons in 2022. Over 4 million small-scale farmers produce coffee. Half of the coffee is consumed by Ethiopians, and the country leads the continent in domestic consumption. Saudi Arabia, South Korea, the United States, Germany and Japan are the major destinations of Ethiopia's coffee exports over the years. Regarded as the origin of Arabica coffee, Ethiopia is one of Africa's largest producers and exporters of coffee. According to the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority, Ethiopian coffee exports have brought $835 million in revenue over the past 9 months. The country exported 174,596 tons of coffee to the international market during the first 9 months of the current Ethiopian 2023 and 2024 fiscal year that started on July 8, the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority said. In addition to the traditional Ethiopian coffee importing countries, the Ethiopian government has been able to create new markets in recent years, state-run Ethiopian press agency quoted Shafi Omer, Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority Deputy Director General said. Data from Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority show that China, the United Arab Emirates and Sudan are among the countries that are becoming top destinations of Ethiopian coffee. Coffee production is dubbed as the backbone of the country's agriculture-led economy. Widely recognized for its rich coffee quality and flavor ranging from winey to fruity and chocolatey, the country's coffee is in great demand across the globe. During the previous Ethiopian 2022 and 2023 fiscal year, the country earned $1.3 billion in revenue from the export of around 240,000 tons of coffee. The export revenue, however, marked a notable decrease as compared with the previous fiscal year, when the country posted a record high revenue of $1.4 billion USD from the export of about 300,000 tons of coffee.
And finally, Ukraine's military chief has said that its forces are doing all they can to hold the line in Kharkiv, but they are facing a difficult situation after Russia's surprise assault on the Kharkiv region began on Friday. Sky News security and defense editor has been reporting from one of the villages where residents have to evacuate once again as Russian troops advance. Kushumelso has more on that from the Sky News.
A sign of an escalating emergency. Russia is attacking from multiple directions, but this is the quickest route to the regional capital of Kharkiv. As the fresh strike continued, smoke was still on the tree and upper the head. It feels very tense. The battle is getting closer. Russian troops are only about 10 miles from this village. It is almost completely deserted. Residents appear to have fled in a hurry.
We are scared, but what can we do?
This resident is the only person left in this apartment block.
So far, I'm not planning to leave, but if the situation deteriorates, then I will go.
The village of Riskitishki was battered by Russian strikes in the first month of the war. But families like this couple ventured back after it was liberated by the Ukrainians. Now they are fleeing again.
We were here yesterday and the sounds were far away. Today it's closer, much closer.
They are pushing us out of our homes. Damn those so-called liberators. We don't want to leave. It's our home.
The Ukrainian military says fierce battles continue, but Moscow already claims to have taken control of several villages in the border region.
The situation is extremely difficult because the enemy has been conducting mass shelling of the town, terrorizing the civilian population, destroying the town.
Ukraine is trying to counter the attack, but as the human misery grows, criticism is mounting about why the border was not better defended.
Our forces must achieve maximum results to destroy our enemy everywhere. Today, there were reports from our Commander-in-Chief, Alexander Syrsky. We are strengthening our positions, especially in the Kharkiv region, by deploying additional forces. The artillery is operating exactly as planned.
On social media appears to show Russian troops simply walking in unchallenged, no sign of any fortifications. Yet the Kharkiv governor says defenses are strong. He blames a delay in the supply of Western weapons for leaving Ukraine exposed.
We feel it, and our soldiers on the battlefield feel it. The enemy outweighs us in munitions, not in quality, but in quantity.
A slim comfort for those escaping the assault. At a checkpoint on the outskirts of Kharkiv city, they monitored the movement. The police chief says Russia has captured a number of small communities on the border.
Whether they can or cannot, it all depends solely on our defense forces, the armored forces, and on us. They will stop only where they are stopped.
It is why this new front should not just be seen as a nightmare for Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin replaced Sergei Shoigu as defense minister in the first reshuffle of the national security team since the invasion of Ukraine. Shoigu's designated replacement is economist and former deputy prime minister Andrei Beltsov.
Well, the viewers, let me now give you a quick recap of the top stories before I go. Stakeholders deliberate on ways of advancing the aviation industry's ideal platform to drive growth opportunities. And Ukraine is said to be in difficult situation as Russian troops claim 4 more villages. And with that, we come to the end of today's news. Thank you for watching us.